So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Libra. So, you guys were probably thinking I was going to move to Leo. We're moving to Libra. Now I have made a perfect ram. See that? Libra to Aries, and then ooh, it's like my imaginary design of the chart. So anyway, and if you don't know what your ascendant is and where your planets are placed, you can check out the links here, chaosastrology.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultation, especially my transit reading, and especially remember I combined career and marriage together now, since you guys wanted it. And it is true because I was seeing so many times that this person needs marriage before they can get money. Most of the time it happens. Okay. And of course, with the transit reading, when I see the planets, I can just look. I don't know what happens. I'm telling you, I don't know what happens. Whatever I'm saying here, and then when I look at a chart, just something new starts to come out. I don't know, man. It's like I know 100 techniques and I forget them all, but somehow the chart I just know, I feel the chart. That's the type of astrologer I am. I feel it. Especially now in the last 2-3 years. Feeling it. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. I feel I'm the worst with intuition, but whatever. So as you know, Jupiter is transiting the 9th house in Gemini in Nakshatra Punarvasu. Jupiter is also looking at the Ascendant in the 5th house and the 3rd house. And right now it's retrograde till March. From March to June, it'll be direct in Punarvasu, then it moves into Cancer. So as you know, this particular Jupiter, this year, and including especially now, you're going back to learning the basics. You will see many people, whether you're a lawyer professional, you're a consultant, you're in IT. Jupiter is... Did my cat just meow? My cat just meow. You're learning IT. What did I say? You're learning something with probably technology and AI. Because everybody is having to learn how to create agents. Okay. And because it's an omen, due to the fact Rahu's in the 5th house, my cat showed up more than my dogs. So I know Rahu is playing a very significant role in your birth chart right now. So a person is going to be either learning, and mostly because of this omen that just happened, most of you will be learning things online. Through online teachers, online gurus, instead of in person. And also I see with Libra people, because of Jupiter's in Gemini in Punarvasu Nakshatra, and Rahu's in the 5th house in Satabhishak Nakshatra, and somehow if Venus is caught up in this, you guys are learning about trading. Okay, Mercury obviously will do that, but I'm feeling Venus. With Venus, somehow you want to learn about trading, day trading, especially, and remember, I said Venus, currency. What is that called? Forex trading. This is also the time period. Okay. You will see father gets money that was owed to him, whether it was by you or someone else. Father and mother will both try to or desire to have a trip to either some religious place or a place that is going to have two exact same structures. Okay. Back in the days, we used to have the World Trade Center, the two exact, but you will see they somehow will travel to a place where there's two exact same structures. Also, with Punarvasu, connecting with neighbors, old friends, relatives, or cousins that you haven't connected with in a long time, it'll make you connect, especially through like Zoom and Face app, because of Rahu also looking at Jupiter in the 9th house. Right now, the thing is, and you have to take advantage of Jupiter being in Punarvasu Nakshatra. Because Punarvasu is that nakshatra, is one of the most benefic nakshatras. I think right after Pushya is Punarvasu before we jump into like Rohini or Uttarashada or Vishaka. because this is one of the forms of Lakshmi. But how is it that the Lakshmi is coming in here? What is that Jupiter is trying to do with Lakshmi here? It is trying to attain knowledge before it gives Lakshmi. Because remember, Jupiter is in the 9th. And what is after 9th? The 10th, which is known as what type of a house? Artha house. House of work and reaping the results. See, you're sowing something in the 9th house, which is behind the 10th house of karma, the seed. And then the seed sprouts. And Punarvasu is one of those fast nakshatras, like Hasta and Ashwini. Okay. So this particular Jupiter is great for learning some knowledge, because then it's going to sprout the results next year when it enters in Cancer, especially Pushya. See, if Punarvasu is the stem that is growing from underneath the water, Pushya is then showing the lotus flower. That's what it's doing. And right now, because see, for Libra, Jupiter is a trick lord. Okay. So it's the 3rd and 6th lord. So obviously you will see that here, when it concerns either father, mentors, teachers, gurus, some form of health issue happen, especially either connected with fatty liver, okay, or it'll be somehow connected with the breathing. Like, some people have either not bronchitis, just like cough and cold. Like just having, like, especially because Rahu is here. Many Libra people will see your father will wake up with a lot of clogged nose. They'll be just saying like, yeah, I'm just having stuffed nose. But see, severity of whatever the health is, we have to see the chart. Sometimes it could just be invisible. Nothing is happening. Little bit of it will happen. But this is great for your father's profession, though. Okay, some kind of a reward, some kind of a respect is attained with the father. This is also a strong period for Libra ascendant, those who are trying to do IVF treatment. Okay. Whether retrograde Jupiter will help you, whether direct Jupiter will help you, for this I have to see your chart. Sometimes retrograde Jupiter, like it is between now and March, can help greatly for your IVF treatment. Sometimes the direct Jupiter is needed. But this is that particular placement of gaining that, or pretty much, getting pregnant through IVF. Now, obviously, Saturn will also play a role. Mars will also play a role in that. But at least we have very strong foundation set. Then Jupiter is going to move into the 10th house, while Saturn is in the 6th house in Pisces. Saturn being your Yoga Karka, 4th and 5th lord. So first of all, you will see this is a particular period that a person is able to readily find employment. Multiple opportunities come in. Okay, right? Probably I would say the first month, like June, you will see a lot of opportunities, especially like old companies that were supposed to call you when you were waiting on them. They finally kind of get in touch with you, or recruiters that may have had your information, they will try to connect with you and contact you. Because still, remember, Jupiter is going to be in Punarvasu Nakshatra in Cancer side. Okay, and this represents return of the king. Jupiter in Gemini, the king is dealing with certain things. But when it's in Cancer side, now it's like that Lord of the Rings movie, Return of the King. So that means the status that you kind of didn't have before, it's bringing back a certain status for you. Because now, especially an Upachya Lord, 6th Lord and 3rd Lord. So it's a trick, but it's also Upachya. Now it's in a Upachya house, more than the Dharma house. See, when Jupiter is in Dharma, it feels like, why is everything becoming harder? I thought Jupiter is supposed to bless. See, Jupiter blesses, but it blesses in a way. The best example is, let's say Jupiter looks at somebody's ascendant in their birth chart. Oh, your life is blessed. Your health is blessed. It's not that health is blessed. Jupiter is saying you're going to get health issues. I'm going to prolong your life. So now you may deal with health issues that are just prolonged. Okay, so Jupiter is not always a benefactor. The way you can see which light of Jupiter, is Jupiter giving a particular light that has some bacteria in it, virus in it, or just pure light? That is really seen through nakshatra and the pada of the nakshatra. There is a certain pada that brings about one result over the other, and I never discussed this. I don't even discuss this in my courses. This is just something I've known from one of my teachers. Okay. But you have to understand that this is how Jupiter operates. So now that the Upachya Lord is in the Upachya house, transiting, and now Jupiter, okay, is going to be looking at Saturn, and now it's going to bless Saturn. If Saturn was in the 5th house in Aquarius, let's say transiting, and right now as I was giving you the same video, I wouldn't really be so much into the blessing part, in more than protecting part, but because of Jupiter being in Punarvasu last Pada and then going into Pushya, now it helps your home related issues, deaths related issues, health related issues, profession related issues. This is also the period you will see if you have an older brother will get a chance to, suddenly they will see a transformation in their life. Professionally it's going to take them from point A to point P. So, and then Jupiter in the 10th, either a person suddenly gets a desire to teach. Okay, now it's really, really a very practical prediction to make, that you're going to desire to teach. If I said this about 15 years ago, they'll be like, yes, I have a desire to teach, but I don't have a PhD, I don't have a master's degree, I don't know what to do. How am I supposed to teach? Now you see, if you want to learn about, let's say, how do I cut properly with a scissor, a piece of cloth? Somebody's teaching that on social media, right? Or like, for example, wall texture spray. I was using that. How do I apply a wall texture? Before, you may have had to read some article. Now somebody's going to visually teach you. In 6 months, AI is going to visually teach you with more precision. That's the scary part. Sad, scary, But this is how a Libra person is going to be engaging in their karma. Because again, 10th house also becomes the obligation to society you have. Now the obligation that Jupiter is giving is, hey, it's time to teach, time to perform that karma. And now it's in a way you can say, for about 6 months, it'll be like a Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga, because the original 9th and 10th Lord, Jupiter and Saturn, are now in connection with each other through trine. You will see, you will attend quite a bit of conferences. When Jupiter enters the 10th house, you will try to learn something in a conference, digital conference, in-person conference, but you'll try to learn something there. And you will see, when you attend a conference, especially when Jupiter is in the 10th, in Cancer, Saturn is in the 6th house, and Rahu is in the 5th, suddenly something will happen related to profession. And obviously, usually it's never anything bad. It's always going to be something good. Now, unless you are attending some conference of MLM, multi-level marketing. Yeah, then suddenly you'll be like, oh, I'll give my money away and I'll get 50x in a year. Well, it's going to be zero most of the time. So you want to be careful of what conference you're attending, what you're doing, where you're going. But if it's a corporate career, legitimate, real company, and you're attending a conference related to that particular company, okay, now you can see. So you have to discern it yourself. Some people who are going to actually lose money and attend a conference will never come across this video because they're supposed to lose that money. They probably don't even know anything about astrology, so they'll never be interested in watching that yearly video. Those who are aware, those have been gifted with this love and obsession of astrology, those are the ones who are watching this, and then they're going to gain from it. And especially when Saturn is in Uttar Bhadrapada Nakshatra, okay, this is where a person goes tremendously deep in their spiritual sadhana, being in the 6th house. Okay? And here Jupiter or Saturn will show. Either travel or communication somehow helps you engage in your, or vibrating your income house. Vibrating your income, money. Responsibility, big responsibility, either related to inheritance, in-laws money will be there, especially also Saturn transiting your 6th house. And this is very true for those people with Varshafal that have a Libra ascendant right now in your Varshafal. Do not purchase any shoes. Okay? Don't purchase any leather goods or shoes. It'll impact your career. Both Varshafal and the transit. Aspect is fine. If Saturn aspects the 6th and all that. But if it's transiting the 6th, do not purchase leather goods or shoes. If you need shoes right now, have a spouse, have a friend or some family member buy you shoes. And then what you should do? Let's say your shoe came out to be $70. Instead of 70, give them 75. And when you do this, you won't deal with that particular Saturn. But only get shoes when you really, really need them. Okay, and also one thing you can also do, if your shoe size fits the other person, have them wear that shoe for 5 minutes. Just tell them wear this shoe and walk. Then you wear that shoe. So till like April of 2027, don't get shoes. Okay? So I hope, well actually no, we now have to talk about Ketu. Ketu is left in the 11th. Right? So Ketu is going to be in Magha Nakshatra most of the time. Pretty much until it moves into Cancer by December. I think December 6th or 7th. So right now what Ketu is doing, first of all, do not discuss your income, how much you make with people. Keep it a secret. Keep things hidden related to your social circles, network circles. Don't be like, if let's say you are an aspiring filmmaker and out of nowhere, you suddenly came across talking to Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, Shah Rukh Khan at some place about a project. Please don't be beating the drum on social media or with your friends. I just met Shah Rukh Khan. I just met Steven Spielberg and he said I can do this and this in his next project. Don't. Now, because then the sheen of that project will go down. Sheen of that meeting goes down. Keep it hidden. Keep it a secret. Keep it safe. Like Gandalf says. And also you are going to go through, this is a vacuum cleaning position of Rahu. Most of your social circles that are either useless for you or you are useless for them, it'll disconnect that. So remember, it's not always like, oh yeah, people who were bad for me went away from me. No, perhaps you were bad also for some people, and it cuts that off. During this period, we also see your spouse will neglect children and the responsibility of children. Okay? But especially when Ketu transits the 11th, it brings about headless money. Meaning money without planning, money without learning something, and money without work even. Ketu in the 11th, just there's money. It will happen, it does happen. Especially when it's in like a birth chart in the 11th. Person at one point just gets money without doing much. Whether it's your spouse giving you money, whether you have some royalty that's now giving you money, something occurs, but they get money. Okay, but also one thing we see, especially people who are, in their 40s, 50s, most likely you might be hearing some news about one of your uncles, aunts, bua, passing away, which is, again, that's normal. But you have to be at a certain age, like 30s, 40s, hardly any 50s, I would say, but at least in that particular time period, you will see that. Okay. So anyway, this was my 2026 transit for you guys. And remember, my marriage course is active on Vedic Astrology Academy. For that, the link is in the description. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.